So let's move on to all the different types then, because there's not just one type of creatine. Oh, there's fucking not. Of course there isn't. It's a multi-fucking million-pound industry, creatine, so of course there's more than one type. So, spoiler alert though, before we go any further, you cannot go wrong with creatine monohydrate. And the reason I say that is because the vast research out there is on this form of creatine. So you can't go wrong. So basically all the well-known ergogenic effects of creatine, they can only really be stated in confidence in regards to monohydrate, because that's where all the papers are pretty much done on. We'll start with the basic one, like the most similar comparison, and this is creatine monohydrate versus Creapure. Now, this is kind of, you'll see this on MyProtein quite a lot if you're in the UK. It's quite a popular thing. They're normally next to each other when you type in creatine. So normally the normal stuff like creatine monohydrate, the bog standard cheap one, well, I say cheap, but I mean it's all cheap anyway, is 99.9% pure, which is fucking high anyway. However, Creapure is super pure. This is the pure shit, mate. This is 99.99% pure. So you're getting that extra 0.09% of pureness.
We still talk about creatine?
We're still talking.
Oh, all right.
God. Get a CDT round in a minute.
No, the old Colombian marching powder.
I know, yeah. But the question is, Tom, is this extra purity going to make a difference? So the only difference I can really see is the amount being taken out of my bank account, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's an important point, actually. So with these different forms of creatine, like the more Gucci-sounding versions away from creatine mono, such as like, Creapure and stuff like that, it tends to be more expensive. But we've got evidence as, recent as 2021, a paper by Fazio et al. And they actually showed that in regards to creatine mono, none had any kind of direct evidence to say that these other forms of creatine were, superior to just plain old creatine mono from MyProtein.
Yeah, nice and simple, isn't it? All I will say is like Creapure is basically a brand, so it's actually like it's from like a German lab, and when people think of like these German labs, they always think of like supreme quality, don't they? Like made of precision, scientific precision. But all I will say though is that obviously this is all anecdotal reports, but I mean, if you do suffer with like stomach issues from normal monohydrate, try Creapure, because people have, even if it is just comes down to, buyer's bias, you spent more on this Gucci brand and you don't feel bloated anymore. Just if that makes you if you feel better taking it, take it, because the price isn't that different. It's not like they're ripping you off. It's like £2-3 more expensive. But if you are having stomach issues with normal monohydrate, try Creapure. It might be better. But really, there is no need to. For the performance benefits, it doesn't do any different.
But we're just giving you a placebo to be nice.
So we'll go through here with a couple of different things as well. So Tom mentioned one paper there. I'll go back a bit more in time now. We've got a paper here from 2012 from the Journal of International Society of Sports Nutrition. So in a double-blind manner, 36 resistance-trained participants were randomly assigned to supplement their diet with either Creapure, Crealkaline, and normal monohydrate. And this was with the standard doses that we mentioned earlier. Participants were then asked to maintain their current training programs and record all workouts. Basically, fast forward a little bit, they concluded these findings do not support claims that consuming a buffered form of creatine is a more efficacious and or safer form of creatine to consume than creatine monohydrate. So basically, they just said the other two aren't any better. Which, and Crealkaline is actually really expensive. Because if you've got MyProtein, Crealkaline, you can only buy the tablets, and to get the dose that you need to take about 1,400 tablets, which is a joke, isn't it?
But, do you know what? Yes. So I'm going to do it, Bill. I'm going to bring us back to Sports Direct. Because many, many years ago...
Because we are sponsored by them.
Not after I'm about to fucking say. So... Sports Direct was doing. They was doing supplements? Was it they? Out of all the companies that do supplements, they were selling Lonsdale supplements.
I don't know. There was something like that. Yeah.
And this was when I was taking creatine years ago, but it was before I became a PT, before I ever got into research, before I knew what the fuck I was doing. So you see how to take your 5 grams there, 3 to 5 grams. It was a tiny little scoop, a thimble worth. It was like a thumbnail's amount of creatine you just took there in one go, yeah? I bought a tub of creatine pills in pill form from Sports Direct, and it was a Lonsdale brand. And it wasn't until I looked at the tub that I had to take about 6 tablets just to get 5 grams.
6 tablets? I mean, that's ridiculous, isn't it?
Because it was like... it was just filled with filler. It was
That's
filled
what they
with
do.
filler.
Yeah, a lot.
So
It's
technically, I paid about 12 quid for like a week's worth of creatine. There's
You know
me
what that is,
looking at
mate? Reminds me of last week with the multivitamins where they fill it with
Exactly.
bulking agents. When it comes to a tablet, they just fill it with bulking agents to make it up. I mean,
Right.
you could probably buy
This
really
is
expensive creatine tablets, which probably do have more in. But
This is why, and I recommend this for all supplements, not just creatine. This goes for protein as well. When it looks at how many servings there are, or how many how many pills there are, or how many scoops there are, look at how many servings you need to take in order to get to what they're recommending on the back. When they say like, oh, it's a fully mixed shake, or to take this creatine you need to take this amount. But when you have a look at it, it's like, fucking hell, well, technically I've only got like a week's worth here. It might say 30 capsules on the bottle, but technically I'm taking like 5 a day here. So what's going on?
Yeah, that's a common thing I've seen. I mean, that's, as you said, the one I was looking at there was that Crealkaline, and that it said you had to take a bit. It was about the same to get the recommended dose, and it was like 20 quid for a tub.
You buy a bag of creatine mono from My Protein, and it's like a tiny thimble, and that's it. You're done for the day.
Yeah. I'll quickly go back to that paper you mentioned earlier, Tom, that 2021 systematic review. So that was alternative forms of creatine supplementation on improving performance and body composition in healthy subjects. So what they actually did on this one is they looked at the price differences across all the different types. I've got a little site here which kind of takes you through it. It's the price per serving. So if we look at creatine monohydrate, this is all American dollars, by the way. So creatine monohydrate per serving, it was they got it as 19 cents. Creatine ethyl ester was 53 cents per serving. Creatine gluconate was 65 cents per serving. Creatine decanate was 30 cents per serving. Creatine anhydrous, fucking there's all sorts here, 72 cents. Buffered creatine. So buffered creatine is that stuff like the Crealkaline. It's basically when they like mix shit. It's like a blend, a proprietary blend basically. That was $1.51 per serving.
Yeah.
Creatine hydrochloride was 42 cents per serving. Magnesium creatine chelate is 45 cents per serving. Takeaway from that is that there's a big price difference from monohydrate above. And what we've seen on paper is that there is no difference in the performance inducing effects between any of them.
Yeah.
So really, is there any point paying any more than just buying your bog standard monohydrate? I can't see a reason why you'd want to pay more. It just seems like to me marketing, smoke and mirrors. It's all to do with marketing, I think.
I mean, look, I think that the takeaway here is we've got to be a bit careful and say buy from a trusted brand. So once again, kind of going off what I've said about protein, don't go onto eBay and just see some random brand with like a fucking, like where it just looks like it's been made in someone's bathtub. Yeah, buy it from a well-known brand. Just stick to creatine mono because the evidence shows that it works. It can be cheap, but also look at the serving size. Make sure that you're getting 5 grams per scoop. Or even if it's like 3 grams per scoop, that's absolutely fine. But if it's like, to get to 5 grams, you've got about 4-5 scoops here, then it's going to be like, what the fuck else are they putting here? Yeah. So keep it simple. Stick to creatine mono from a well-trusted brand.
I've got some examples of some brands, some products here, just to give people some sort of ideas. This is for the UK, by the way. So you've got bog standard creatine monohydrate from My Protein. You can get 500 grams for that at full price. It is $11.99. It won't be that price because they've always got sales on. But that, as I said, is a 100-day supply on paper, which is really good. Even at full price, 12 quid. 100 days worth of powder is really good. And then they've got Creapure, which is obviously the purer version, they like to say. The same amount, 500 grams, is £15, $14.99 for 100 days supply. So it's a little bit more. It's not too much more expensive, but it's more money, which that's the bottom line, isn't it? And then if we look at alkaline tablets, which I said earlier. Oh, by the way, they like to put in brackets for this one. pH correct creatine. Buzzword that. What a buzzword.
Jesus.
And you get, for that one, you get 120 tablets at full price for $26.99. And guess how many servings that is, Tom? 30 servings. That's only 30 servings for that 120 tablets. And each serving is only 3 grams of creatine. That's awful. Oh, that is awful.
Pretty much what we've just been talking about.
Yeah, like you're getting like the bottom recommended. So obviously recommended is 3 to 5. You're getting the lowest end of the recommendation, and you're only getting 30 servings for £27, which is
Yeah.
Smoke and mirrors.
Stupid.
Smoke
it is smoke and mirrors.
Um,
But they label it to look sexy.
Tom, we know we've been talking about the prices there and all about the different premium products and brand and stuff. This reminds me of last week's conversation about the Tory multivitamins. I think we've got a case of the UK political parties getting involved with the creatine supplementation industry. I feel like Crea Pure has got Tories written all over it. I'd argue, actually, no, we could even go as Crealkaline, could probably go there.
Oh, am I going to start losing followers here now we're getting political? I know Crea Pure could be Labour because it has got a bit of like a champagne socialist vibe to it.
Yeah, it does, yeah, you're right.
You know?
What's your bog standard monohydrate then?
Your bog standard monohydrate?
Got to be very careful what you say here.
Oh.
No pressure.
It's got to be like an independent party, hasn't it? One that we've not seen yet.
What's the one with the bucket head? The one with the bucket on his head?
Yeah, like... Right, let's go. Lord Buckethead.
Get him involved.
Buckethead. Oh, I forgot about that. That was the political battle of the century. Lord Buckethead versus Count Binface. Forgot all about that. Lord Buckethead. What is he actually? He has got a name for his party, hasn't he? It's not the Creatine Mono Association, is it?
Isn't it the Raven Looney Party or something?
It's not like ISSN, is it?
ISSN, you imagine?
the Grem. Well, he was in charge of. Yes, it used to be called the Gremloids, and then, but as of 2019, it is now the official Monster Raven Looney Party.
Yeah, I thought so. That's been crazy. Isn't it? Wow.
I don't know what brand that is, to be honest with you.
As far as I'm concerned, they need to just stay away from the supplement industry, right?
Yeah.
They're out of
Maybe
control.
if Huel starts doing creatine, that could be their party.
I don't know. Huel's the Green Party, aren't they, really? I thought we just put Huel on a...
Yeah, good shout, actually.
We'd have to,
good shout.
I just want to quickly say something, though, Tom, because I feel like this could be very heated out in the world, is that at this point, we're neutral. This is a neutral podcast. There are no political affiliations on this podcast.
I mean, I gave up on all parties when I voted for all of them at least once and realised I still had to pay tax.
Still had to pay tax.
Ban out of order.
Bang out of order. Oh dear. Well, I mean, the way it's going, mate. If things keep going, we're gonna have to pay tax on Crea Pure next. The way it's going.
State sponsored Crea Pure.